Chapter 23, Long Lost Sister. I half wake up wrestling with the dream. This guy named Hoffman has kidnapped Alicia and locked her away in a tower, and I'm going nuts looking for a way inside. Then I discover a secret panel that looks like thick pink glass, but it's just a hologram, and I walk right through it. Inside, Alicia is chained to a table, and these electrodes are hooked to her temples, and she's straining at her chains. And beams of sharp green light are shooting out of her eyes and burning holes in the ceiling. Hoffman is wearing a caveman suit made out of old brown pants tied on with neckties, and he's got his hands on the power dials, and behind him there are 2 jail cells with Mom in one and Dad in the other. I sit up in bed and force myself to wake up. The clock on my dresser says 9:20, and I know it's Wednesday, and I'm in my house in Hyde Park, and I'm glad all that was a dream. Not that reality is a whole lot better or less random. And I don't like that image of Mom and Dad behind bars. I have to shake off a feeling of dread, because if you let it, the fear just keeps coming. I do my best thinking in the shower. It's so odd to see the tiny streams of water bounce around, see the shapes of my hands and arms and legs. Warm water runs down my back, and I plan out my talk with Sheila Borden, because that's the big event for today. Maybe the biggest event in my life, and maybe hers too. I turn off the water and drip dry a little, slide back the curtain, and step out of the tub, and there's no towel. I open the door, and I'm about to yell and see if Mom is still home, but I hold the yell just in time, because I hear Mom talking down in the entry hall, and I know the voice that answers her. It's Mrs. Paget. I creep to the banister at the top of the stairwell. I can't see either of them, but the acoustics are great. The problem is that I've now heard from the Florida authorities, Mrs. Phillips. They have called and visited the home of Miss Ethel Leeton, and have gotten no response day or night. Seems your Aunt Ethel has vanished, so we'd like you to tell us where she and your son might be. Mom laughs lightheartedly and says, well, that's Aunt Ethel for you. She's a little flighty sometimes. When I talked with her Monday afternoon, she said Bobby was feeling so much better. She said they might do some day trips, maybe even go up to Orlando. But surely, Mrs. Phillips, you must know where your own son is. You don't seem worried at all. Why should I be worried? Aunt Ethel is my father's sister, and I've known her all my life. And I've known Bobby all of his life. They are 2 very stable people, and I'm sure they're just fine. And when they get a chance, they'll check in. And I am so sorry that this is proving difficult for you and your friends in Florida. Mrs. Paget takes her time answering. Mrs. Phillips, this isn't difficult. Difficult is when a child is declared to be formally missing under suspicious circumstances, because at that point, the full resources of the state of Illinois jump into action, and possibly the FBI as well. When that happens, these things often get into the newspaper. It can affect lives and careers. It can get quite messy and difficult. That sounds a lot like a threat, Miss Badger. My name is Mrs. Paget, and it's not a threat. It's a promise. Mom pauses. Do they teach the people in your agency anything about the United States Constitution? One of the best ideas in the Constitution is that little part about how a citizen shall be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Proven? Tell me, did you happen to bring along another search warrant this morning? No. Fine. Then you have a nice day, Miss Paget. And the front door slams shut. It can be a good idea treating the woman like that. It can't be a good idea treating the woman like that. I'm not sure I like having Mom act like some tough guy from a Clint Eastwood movie. But as with almost everything else these days, it's out of my hands. So I get on with the business of finding a towel. As I grab a quick breakfast, Mom is cleaning up in the kitchen. She doesn't say anything about Miss Paget, and I don't ask. But I can tell she's on edge. I'm glad she has a 10 o'clock class. It'll get her mind off the long arm of the law, and it'll also get her out of my way. 10 minutes later, Mom's gone, and I'm at the desk in my room. I have some notes on a pad of paper. I know what I'll say if I get an answering machine, what I'll say if Sheila picks up herself, what I'll say if it's a kid or a boyfriend or someone. And I think I know how I can get her to tell me if she knows anything useful. And as I punch in her phone number, I'm being careful. For myself, I mean. I'm being careful not to get my hopes up. I'm just going to ask this lady a few questions. If her answers help, fine. If they don't, then I go back to the big list and call another 100, another 200 people, whatever it takes to see whatever there is to see, which might just be nothing or everything. Yes, and then a throaty cough, a woman's voice, sleepy, the voice of someone who smokes cigarettes. Sheila Borden? Yes, that's right. Awake now, on guard. I'm calling because I think you might be able to. Are you one of those kids from Students Against Drunk Driving? Because I already said no to you people 2 days ago. No, it's nothing like that. I'm calling because of something else. I'm calling because I talked with your father last night, and you talked with my father about me? Now there's an edge in her voice. Fear, maybe a little anger. No, not really about you, not specifically. And this is the scary part of my plan, because I've decided to just tell the truth, because it takes truth to find truth, right? That's what my dad says. And what's the risk? She has no idea who I am. I'm just this voice on the phone. So I say, I called your dad because I woke up one morning about 3.5 weeks ago and I was gone, just like you. Tick, tick, tick. Then she says, what are you talking about? You got up one morning and you ran away from home? And I notice she's not hanging up on me. She's talking, thinking. I say, I didn't run away from home, from school, yes, but only kind of. I pause because I want her to have time to think. I was just gone. She's angry now. Is this some kind of a prank? I don't believe you talked to my father. Anybody could call anybody and say that. What's his address and phone number? I'm ready for that one. I read off the information. Okay, so you talked to my dad. So what? What's this got to do with me? How come you're calling? So I use my big question. When I say that I woke up one morning and I was gone, what do you think I mean by that? Just the slightest hesitation. Then she says, how should I know what you mean? Just take a guess. That's all I'm asking. First guess, like I said, that you ran away from home. Nope. Guess again. You didn't know who you were? Amnesia or something? That's closer. Guess again. Hey, you know what? Goodbye. That's what. And she slams her phone down so hard that I hear it bounce off onto the floor, hear her swearing and grabbing for it, and then a second slam and the line goes dead. And I'm afraid I've lost her. Really afraid. I punch redial. 2, 3, 5 rings, and the answering machine picks up. It's her voice on the message, all bright and cheery and efficient. This is Sheila at Elash Technical. Leave a message or send an email from our website, elash.com. That's EILASH.com. Bye. Then there's this beep, and I'm rushing. I'm rushing to say everything, and I'm talking way too fast, and I'm probably saying too much, but I don't care. Sheila? I didn't mean to get you mad or anything. I'm just trying to find something out because I really did wake up that morning and I really was gone, like I couldn't see myself. That's what I mean. And I'm trying to figure it out. I have to figure it out. I have to. And I just thought that if she picks up the phone and I hear her answering machine click off. There's a deep tiredness in her voice, a weariness. You can't just call someone up and say I turned invisible one day, can you? And I know. I don't believe it yet, but I know. I gulp and I feel tears at the corners of my eyes because it's like I'm finding a lost sister or something, like a reunion with an army buddy, an old Greek warrior. So it really did happen to you too? Almost a whisper. Really? Then how did you find me?